Bandwidth for this podcast is brought to you by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to MacBreak Studio. I'm Mark, I'm with Steve. We're talking about Final Cut Pro, and we're getting into the extremely exciting and sexy subject of
backups.
Backups.
Right, that's right.
I am so excited. It's one of my favorite
things. You should be excited about backups because they could save your bacon sometimes.
That's true. They're extremely important.
Right.
Extremely important.
Well, let's talk about let's back up.
Okay.
What's motivating this discussion on backups? Well, we released a product back when 10.1 was released called 10.1 In Depth.
In Depth, yes.
4 hours. And we did our best to be accurate in 4 hours.
Everything, yeah.
Every now and then, this little inaccuracy slips through.
Yeah.
Publishers like to call that errata.
Errata,
It sounds kind of weird, but yes. I want to deal with a particular piece of errata in something I said in the 10.1 In Depth.
Let's go for
with
it.
regard to a backup. So
Okay.
let's just talk about backups as a general principle. Backups will back up libraries. And now right now I'm in the, let me go ahead and zoom in here. I'm going to just take a look at these libraries. A backup will back up these libraries here, and it will back up the library itself, the database. It doesn't back up the media, and it backs up every 15 minutes. And you set,
without you doing anything.
Without you doing anything, and you set that in preferences. If I go to preferences in general, you'll notice here that Save Library Backups is already checked by default.
Yeah.
Without you doing anything, just like you said.
And it's a good idea to leave that checked, right?
That's right. Now the question is, where is it putting these backups? It's putting them by default in the Users Movies folder, and I can show you this by choosing Choose. And I'll come back to this Choose in a moment. But for right now, just so you can see, look at the path. It's in Mark Spencer Movies Final Cut Backups.
Okay, so that's where by default it puts them.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's something that you want to know, because these backups are, well, it's happening every 15 minutes, and here's the errata. Here's what I want to correct.
Okay.
I said in the 10.1 In Depth that it was library specific. So your backup would be to this particular library, but when
in terms of the location,
in terms of location, right? Inaccurate. It's actually backing up every library that's open into that one backup, same location.
Same location. Okay. Okay. And you can choose a different location if you want, right?
Yes,
it doesn't have to be there.
Right. You can.
But that's what Choose is for.
Well, yeah. So Choose would mean I want all of my backups to be, let's say, stored on this drive here, or on that Pegasus, or what have you.
Because it would probably be a good idea to have the backups of your library stored on a different drive than your actual libraries are located, in case that drive
That's a very good point that we didn't hit very hard in the 10.1. It's always a good idea to have your backups on a separate drive, because if both the backups and your libraries go down, you're kind of
And they're relatively small, right? Because it's basically a database of the library. It's not the actual media isn't being put in the library in that backup.
No media is being copied. No boot. It's just
so you could choose, like, if you use Dropbox, you could back up to Dropbox.
You could,
and that way you know you're safe, because it's basically throwing it in the cloud, and you're good to go.
It's great.
Okay.
So I'm going to zoom back out here, and I'm just going to go through the process of actually backing up. Opening a backup. So I have the Cupcake library selected.
So you'd want to do this if something happened. Why would you want to open the backup? Like your media got corrupted, or your project corrupted?
Something got corrupted, or let's say the current trajectory of your creative decision making is going horribly wrong. And you just want to get back to an earlier iteration.
Okay. And maybe you weren't making snapshots or duplicating projects or whatever.
Which you should be doing, making snapshots and duplicates. But for
didn't.
whatever reason, you just need to get back to like 2 days ago or what have you.
Undo is not going to get you there.
Undo is not going to get you there, exactly. So I'm going to go to the File menu and choose Open Library from Backup.
From Backup,
That's
okay.
it, just like that.
Yep.
And all the backups will be listed in this pop-up menu. And of course I have two. And I said earlier that it's 15-minute intervals, and you can't change that. It's 15 minutes, that's it, it's fixed. It is what it is. But I could go back to 2:51 p.m. today if I wanted to.
Yeah, and this is just because we did this relatively recently, so it just has a couple, but you'll see a whole bunch in here.
You can see a whole list. Now, it's interesting, the Apple documentation isn't, what's the one I'm looking for? It's not really explanatory about about what backups are being ditched and when.
But some are being ditched.
Some are, yes. It doesn't keep them forever.
So it purges.
It just says basically this: every few days it'll throw out older ones or something like that. So
it gets annoys at all the clutter.
Yeah.
It's like my dad was when growing up. He just got annoyed at the clutter and went through the house and started throwing stuff away.
Yeah, I was just going to say, oh, I know those backups aren't important. This is gone.
Yeah.
If you need to save all your backups, I guess you can go into the backups folder and drop them to a
Put them somewhere.
Put them somewhere. But
okay.
Not really necessary. I don't think it's really necessary. But anyway, all I'm going to do is pick an earlier time date stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and click open. And instantly, I'm going to go zoom in. You'll see that now here's a key. It makes a copy of the library that you're backing up.
So this backup is a totally separate instance of the library. It doesn't affect your current library at all.
Not at all. It's a completely, in fact, look at the stamp. It even tells you here, 2014, the month is January, the day is 24, and 1451 is the time, Pacific Standard Time.
Okay, and that's great because you can, by looking at it, you know right away that's the backup library.
Right, if you hover your mouse, it even tells you the path for where this particular library is.
So what you could do is, if there's this particular project, you could take that project out of this backup and drag it into your project, back into your library.
Absolutely, I can go up to the project and say, maybe this is the version that I really want, and you can actually drag this into another
into your original one, your original dailies.
Into the original dailies library.
And then close the backup, just grab that.
Yeah, I'll make sure I can yes, you drive into the event, yes, so you can definitely do that.
Okay.
So it's good workflow, and one thing I'd like to point out, though, when you are opening backups, notice the media immediately came back online.
Right.
This is, it's not copying media, it's not moving media. Although if you go to the Finder and do get info,
on the backup,
it's sometimes the exact same size as your original library.
Oh, so it seems to imply that the backup file contains your media.
But it doesn't. You know how it does it? It does it through the magic of
hard links.
Hard links.
Hard links.
So if you watched our 10.1 tutorial, you'll know all about hard links, and you'll go, the magic of hard links. Okay.
But the danger of that is you might assume that the media is in the backup, and if for some reason you lost all your media, I don't know, your hard drive died or you did something, that, I have a backup. You don't, right? There's not going to be any media in the backup. The backup is of the database of all your edit decisions.
Yeah, you got to be very, very careful about, I got the backup, I'm just going to trash it.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
I can. So something to keep aware. So there it is. I've corrected some errata from 10.1 in depth.
Well, good for you for owning up to it and setting everybody straight so everybody knows the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So if you want to know more about Final Cut Pro 10, Motion, DaVinci Resolve, you want to check out our plugins, rippletraining.com. Follow us on Twitter at rippletraining, like us on Facebook, all that good social media stuff. We'll be back next week. Thank you, Steve, and thank you for watching MacBreak Studio.